Hey guys, Tattoo for You Richard here, and it is time once again. It's Friday. What are you doing today? You're watching this, if you're hearing this, obviously. But it's time for a journey into Forgeworld. And it's gonna be awesome all the way around. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it too. But we are done with the building, and we are done with my Forgeworld for a really long time. But we still have painting to do. I've painted other stuff, the other littler things as I went. I have something done over here. I'm gonna do a showcase video on it later. But this is now we're gonna do the town art. It's time to start painting him, and it is a big beast, and it's probably gonna take me quite a while to get it correct. So that being said, in the video series, when we start, now that we're doing the painting, I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do it. If I'm just gonna kind of, we get into it, we talk about it, I show you a bit of what I'm gonna do, and then just say, okay, see you later. Or just kind of do some of it on camera and then cut off and then finish up that piece that I'm doing, that area, and then the next week we'll work on another part of it. Because right now I literally work on it like once a week whenever we come together. But now that I'm getting into the painting, I'm going to want to fly through it a lot more. I'm going to take my time, but I'm going to be in a consistent, you get in a zone, you just continue painting. But I still want to break it up in videos. So I'll probably pre-record a bunch of stuff, just so you can see bits of it as it comes together still, you know? And I can honestly stretch this out just a little bit longer. But for sure, what we got now, everything, I've already primed it. It's all black. I primed everything black because I think that's the base tone I want to go. But I think we're going to do just like we did before. We're going to start feet, or like base, and work our way up on it. And in interest of saving paint, I'll probably do sections at a time. Or not section at a time, but do, if I'm doing the green, because I'll show you as we go into the table down version, I start showing you all the parts and what I'm doing. I'll show you how I want to paint it, since it goes with my themed army. But the main color is going to be that green. So I'm sitting there painting. I'm going to paint all the green. I'll go ahead and, if I have enough in my pot, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the green on the torso, not just the feet or legs or whatever, and just get all that the bits of green done. And we'll do that in a section. Like, green is one section. This is how we're going to lay down the base tones of green, because I'm going to be doing a lot of airbrushing in this one. Then, like, the next episode, we'll do the gray, which is going to be the, you remember the, like all the other, like the riptides. It's pretty much like the leg, and then the armor plates are on the leg. Well, all that area of that, like the understructure, the underskeleton, will be that kind of a Luftwaffe gray as the base. And then I'll lighten it up a bit to pale blue and possibly little white highlights there. And then that'll look really good, in my opinion, under the green. I still want to keep it a little darker. So I may just go from the Luftwaffe gray to the pale gray as the highlight. I'm just kind of going over with you what I'm going to be doing overall. But I think once we get down to it and I do all that, I'm still going to go back and I'm going to add other details. Like, I'm going to have to add my sept colors, the red, white, and the green in there. Should already be green, but the red and the white for sure. I'll want to add markings, certain markings. Especially on the scheme that I'm going through, there's like a main stripe that's on it in 2 spots. So I want to add that on there. But I want to, and then I'll go back after all that's done. Then I'll go back through and I'll weather it. I'll pretty much make it look pretty, and then I'll make it look crappy, look dirty again. Not crappy, but you know what I mean. And I'm not that good at weathering except for the stipple technique and the smudge technique. I've done that before too, but so I'm gonna do some weathering on this. You know, that maybe some that I've never tried. I'm not a fan of the paintbrush weathering where you draw your scratches on there. I feel like if it's got scratches like that, sometimes it would gouge the metal itself. So I would like to do that in it on the model itself. If I wanted to add big gouges like that, I will cut into it with a hobby knife to give it more 3D. But yeah, that's my plan. So today we're gonna work on the base, get it laid out, painted up, and done. And it'll probably include the feet too because I've already have them mounted and glued on. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I did do something I didn't want to do. That Tetra that I pre-painted that I was gonna use on the base, it was pre-painted. Well, I primed over it, back over it, so I'm gonna have to repaint it again and rework it again. But it is what it is. It's whatever. I cut gouges in it too, so I need to do stuff with that. So I had open resin anyway. But yeah, that's what we're doing today, and I'll try not to keep the video too terribly long. See if we can keep it under 20 minutes, maybe. Just kind of give it over a basis. But my intro is going on 7 minutes now. So shut up, Richard. Let's go to the table and start painting. Do it now. Alright guys, here we are, table down. Sorry, I'm going rogue today. We'll call the camera Rogue 1. We're going to zoom over the base so I can kind of show you everything that's going on. Everything's prime black. I missed a bunch of spots, I know. There's a can of spray primer. It's really hard. I couldn't get the right angles on it, so I'll fix those with the airbrush. But here we have a little sandbag bunker that a guard had made and left his gun, rifle, whatever it is, laser rifle in it. Yeah, sorry, that was Star Wars going on in the background, but turn it down a little bit. Over here we have a commissar's sword, and then of course back here we have the the Tetra. So I got a lot of work to do back here, which I'll do most of this with the airbrush. An airbrush in here. The majority of the base is going to be a lot of dry brushing. The same style I do all the other bases with the grays, then the light brown tones, and just build it up from there. And of course, bringing out the sandbags in every spot I have them. I think there's some over here and one over there on the Tetra. But yeah, this is where I'm going to start with. I'm going to work on this. I'm mainly going to do the base first. Actually, I'm still debating on if I'm going to do the airbrushing or the base first, since I got to go back and airbrush in all these little areas that are still, you know, brown from the cork board, since I couldn't get a good solid coat on it. But yeah, that's what I'm at. When we come back, I'm going to have a little bit of this painted up, so stay tuned.
Alright guys, here we are. I came back, apologize for the voice, dude. This is Friday morning. I started this yesterday, and overnight I just kind of went downhill as far as the feeling good goes. My allergies are kicking my derriere to the maximum today. So I'm going to do a little bit on this, and then I'm going to just kind of probably chill out for the rest of the day. Make this section short, kind of show you what I'm doing, work on it, get it finished, and then just honestly crash for the rest of the day. Watch all my YouTube and everything. But anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to start working on the feet and kind of show you. And what I'll probably do is do that, and then off camera do the base tones on the legs and probably the hip, so that way I can get him colored minus the details and the extra stuff that I do to it, like the highlights and whatnot, from his feet to his hips. Like get all that laid down and on there, kind of the rough tones, just so you can kind of get a good visualization of what this is possibly going to look like. So what we have here is, I picked up a while back, is Vallejo's Model Air. Sorry about my compressor, I have a leak in my water trap down here. I've sealed it once, You can see that kind of rough looking area. I sealed that once, but it's still got another crack on the other side now, so I got to seal that. Yes, I'm being very cheap because I think I want to say these are like $6, and I don't got $6 to spend on another one. Um, but anyway, yeah, I got this Vallejo Model Air dark green, U.S. dark green, which U.S. dark green is the standard color that I use for my army. All the greens on them anyway. Citadel's Castellan green is pretty close to the one, but what's funny is you look at the color tones. This looks more brown than the green. Here I'm gonna hold on. Here we are back. See, so this is the regular U.S. dark green. And look at the difference in the colors. I mean, there's a pretty decent difference. So here's this one on my finger. Let's see if I can focus on it. So there's that color. And then, let me shake this up good real quick. Apologize, the camera might, let's focus on that a little bit. The camera might shake a little bit, but here is the air version. This focus. See, that's got more brown in it. And then, of course, the Games Workshop's Castellan green. Which is really similar to the U.S. dark green. So I'm trying to think, because I mean, look at this one would make sense to me. Is like you do this as the base coat, and then this comes in as a highlight, like a mild highlight, just bringing the tone up just a hair, and then I can find another green that I can mix up for the extreme highlight. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little sad that the colors are so different from the Model Air ranges. Because really, that has a lot more brown in the green than the green. So, anyway, Luftwaffe uniform for Vallejo is my undertones for the like say on the leg. Let me get a thigh out. I'll make some chicken. No, not really at all. I don't want any food right now. Period. No food, homie. I am not up for food. So here's the leg. Yeah, there's some missed spots on the primer, but all this area here, behind the armor, the under skeleton, is all going to be that Luftwaffe gray. So an ankle like this. This area here on the foot will be that gray. This part is going to be the green. I'm going to do the toes, that gray, and then trim it in the green. So, I mean, a lot of that I'll do airbrush, and then I'll come back and I can paint like the green strips on there with the paintbrush. I just need to make sure I use the right greens and match the greens up good enough so it looks right. But let's go ahead, and I think I'm gonna start with this because I can hold it easy and kind of show you what I'm gonna do. Let me get this Vallejo pre-mix in my I use Createx Wicked thinner, Wicked reducer. Normally I'll use either just water or I have a little bit of airbrush cleaner. If you use like a drop of airbrush cleaner, like half the airbrush cleaner, like say you would do 1-to-1 mix to thin it for your airbrush. If I take the airbrush cleaner and do, say, 3 drops of paint to 1 drop of airbrush cleaner, it thins it down enough without breaking your paint down so much that it ruins the pigment in it. To me, that's fine. It works out good for me. I've done it with all my models with the airbrush cleaner. But I figure I've had this laying around for a while, and my Createx paints don't need to be thinned at all. They stretch out real well, so I'll just use it for this since these aren't really meant to be airbrush paints. But let me get the paint mixed up and then we'll go. Or maybe I should just show you what I do first. Where is my crappy stir brush? Well, I see fire and I see you right. This is like hold music. Yeah, here we go. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, this brush right here I just use for a stir stick. It's an old crappy brush. One of the ones I let my kiddos use before. So I use that to mix up my paint. So with this retarder, actually I'll show you with the cleaner real quick. I'll do it with the cleaner so you can see what I'm talking about. So with the airbrush cleaner, let me focus over here more. So what I'll do is, here's my pot. Focus in there. I will do 2 drops. Let's go 3. 3 drops. 3 drops cleaner. 2. Sorry, shaky, shaky. So that was 3 drops of cleaner to 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops. 8 drops paint. So it's pretty much like, I guess I half the mix. Then I use my paintbrush stirry stick. Shut up, air compressor, you're being stupid. And ultimate goal is to get your paint running like milk. So where it's like a really heavy glaze. So, and then it'll come out like, then I test it on the back of my hand if I can get a clean spot. Right here. So yeah, there you go. It's coming out pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blast these areas in here. I apologize for the sound, but I just come in and I start building the color up. Now going over black like this is going to make it a little harder. Make me use a little bit more paint to kind of get it to the tone I want. I want some of that black to stay in there, still stand out a bit because I want it to be like the shadows. And that's what we're talking about is tree shading here, right? I just did black, so my tree shade is like the majority, the biggest tone. See how that looks? Let me focus good. I love this Luftwaffe gray. I mean, it's got a nice blue tint to it, and it really, I just like the way it looks. So. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to go and I'm going to finish this one all up, and then I'll show you what the leg looks like with just the gray on it. And then I'll probably go into the second tone, the highlight of it, which will be this blue-gray pale. I kept calling it pale blue-gray. It's blue-gray pale, which is weird. But yeah, give me a second. We'll come back and I'll show you what that all looks like. And then I'll do the high. We'll work on the high. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the gray done. The little Luftwaffe uniform, blue-gray. The main portion of it, and I'm going to do it back and probably switch in now and do the green on here and then show you what that looks like. I did that. I did the hip section on all of them, and then of course the feet. So I'm going to talk about the base real quick, just show you what I did with the base. So obviously you remember what it looked like before with just the cork and the grit and all that stuff. So what it is, I went in here with the really good gray, like a pewter gray, and brushed it over all this, and then just started bringing it up to lighter gray tones. I believe I did pewter gray, hit it with a little bit of white, and then finally, or pewter gray, then mixed a bit of white in it to lighten it up to the next shade, dry brushing only. And then finally I went back with the white and just barely a bit of pewter gray in it, just to slightly tint it for the highlights. I've still got other stuff to do, like finish the rifle over here and the sword sticking up out of the ground. That's going to break off eventually, but I don't care. Sandbags are done. Ground is pretty much done. I've got to go in and do in here with this really kind of murky green color. Like I go like a deepish green, and then I bring it up to a lighter green, like a muddy, murky algae kind of green. And then I'll put a varnish in there so it looks shiny, so it looks like water. Since that's where all the water kind of sunk. When water receded on the land, it kind of shows like the cracks in the ground where they're at. I need to go through and repaint this. You can see in there real how bad that is. I need to do something. More than likely, what's going to happen is, once the base is completely done, I'm going to go and put greenery on it. Like I do with... Where is a good one I can show you? I guess I'll show you the old Tetra. Let me give it a little blow real quick. Let me make sure there's no dust on there. But like with the Tetra that I did a while back, see there's that little murky area, kind of that green, looks like water, wet. But I'm going to go back and put these greenery on there. So this is battlefield grass, that's a moss. This is that algae stuff or whatever it is, the real foliage that I got from the dollar store. But that'll be all throughout this base too, the moss and stuff. And so what I'll probably do back here is that mossy, not the moss, the dollar store algae junk or whatever it's called. I'll probably do build-ups of those back in here, like up off these hills on both of them to kind of hide these posts a little bit more. They're dark, so you can't really see them, but I want to make sure they're gone. You really can't see them. And then I'm going to put greenery all over this base as well to kind of pop it up one more notch, you know. So yeah, that's where I'm at on the base. Repainting the Tetra, and then painting the sword and the gun, and then the murky stuff. And then once I get the feet done, completely, like I want them to be completely done, highlighted, set, good, perfect, so that way I can seal the base, and then I'll go back and put the greenery on and be done with it. But one of my big issues right now is my matte varnish is running very low. Like honestly, I'm probably out of it right now, so that's going to be a fun time keeping this stuff from getting chipped until I can get some more, which will be a minute. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do the US Dark Green base on the parts. And then we'll come back and show you what that is. And then I'm gonna probably end the video there. And then I'll do the highlights and stuff with the pale gray. And y'all just can, I'll show, oh, excuse me. I'll show you that on, say, Monday or something. I'll just give you kind of an overview of what I finished up. So yeah, guys, I will come back in a minute and I'll show you what the green base looks like. See you in a bit. Alright, guys and dolls, here it is. I'm done for the day, man. I'm getting cashed out. Here it is with the base tone of the Luftwaffe gray. I got a bit of overspray from the green. I just kind of hit that back up later. You'll actually lose that whenever I highlight it. So in the long run, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna highlight the gray, which I'll possibly do that if I feel a little better this weekend. I won't record it, but I'll just do it, and then show you on Monday the highlights on the legs, or like the next shade up of the gray and the next shade up of the green. But yeah, I'll do that on these guys, and then whenever I do highlight the green, I'm gonna mask off the foot. This part, the toe part, so that way it's not gonna mess anything up. I did the green back here on the leg too as well. So we got green all in here, this little housing, and these little gear plugs, little cover things. Here's the hip joint. Did the green on that. That's going to be green, which is pretty much just the little right at the groin area. The thighs are green, obviously, more the toes, and then this right here, the lower torso, I did the green that's going to be on that. So yeah, it's coming together really nice, man. Really happy with it. Yeah, I think just now I've got to. I meant to spray this with green while I had it out, but I didn't, so I'll just do that later. Or I'll just hand paint it, like do a rough paint, like a dry brush paint to kind of give it a scuffed up, beat up effect since it looks like it's buried in there. Start bringing out some of the tones. Do the same thing with the reds and the whites on the markings and stuff. So that way I can pop them back out. But yeah, that's it. This is what we're doing for today, man. This is where we're at for the paint. Looks like I already got a little chip right in there that I'll need to go back and deal with. I'll touch that up with a brush because all I do is just a little light. Just a light little hit and then it'll go away. So yeah, that's what we're at. This is what we're doing. This is it for the Journey into Forgeworld this week, fellas and ladies. I know there's a couple on there that I've seen watch. But yeah, next step we'll be working on, next week we'll work on the upper torso and stuff. Start getting that based out and done. The main thing is getting everything based on there. And then I'll figure out what I need to glue together and mount and make permanent. Which I'm pretty sure, for storage purposes, this is going to be how it is. The hips are going to be epoxied together. The ankle joints are going to be epoxied together really well. I'm going to put a good amount in there so it really gets a nice grip on it. Same thing for the hip area. And then I'll just let this stuff sit. I'll rubber band it. And then that'll be all epoxied and solid. So when I store it, like if I ever do go somewhere to play or whatever, or we're moving, I can just take off the upper torso, the guns and everything, and then store it away that way. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, short, I'm done for the day. I will be back on Monday. I might throw up a showcase video of my Storm Surge since I finally got that semi-ready this weekend. If not, I will for sure see you guys on Monday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Love you guys. I got kablams on in the background, so sorry about that being a little loud over here. Let me pause that real quick. Anyway, I love you guys, and I thank you so much for everything. I will see you on Monday. So yeah, guys, have a wonderful weekend and have a rockin' nerd life. Do much nerdy stuff this weekend. See you later.